Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the first Sunday of Advent and the narrative lectionary, where we're looking at Daniel. Daniel chapter 3. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Those are three names you can say fast. But a story of God's protection, a story of all kinds of things happening, but God protecting these three. And I'm reading the commentary on Working Preacher, and the idea that I'm working with is that in the sense that when we are being pulled one way or another from our faith or from our faith practices, what are the ways that we can keep focused on what is important and what is true and what is right? And so, kind of putting it bluntly, it's like keeping, the whole thing, keeping Christ in Christmas or keeping Christ in Christians. The sense that what are the ways that we might focus on helping us keep the focus of the season? And there's just something about this text about being pulled, and that they're in this place where they're being asked to give up on their God and to turn away, but they keep focused on the true nature of their God and the Creator, and ultimately their salvation from this fiery furnace. And so it's the idea I'm going with. So how do we as people of God, how do we as children of God, in this time of Christmas, where things, or every way we turn, we're being asked to buy something else. We're asked that ultimately we're getting pulled one way or the other. And so the item I'm using is a Christmas item. It can be any kind of Christmas item. It can be a candles. I like the idea of focusing on the Advent wreath, because you got the Advent wreath there, and each candle that you light helps us focus on a particular theme, and that it reminds us that we're in the first week of Advent as we lit the Advent wreath. The item I picked up is some Christmas lights. These are 20 mini lights, but the idea that hard for me. The idea with the lights is that it gives us something to focus on. That as we're driving around and we see the Christmas lights out there, we can be reminded that the lights, that we get reminded of this, the reason for the season, that Jesus Christ. And so we get that drawn there. Every time when I say that, putting Christ back into Christmas, or the reason for the season, I'm using it in the most generous way possible. It's not a critique. It's not a criticism of we've lost the meaning. But more to the idea of how do we focus in on this for us as people of faith? How do we focus on what is important for us in the season? And so I could see that as seeming like we're taking the finger and shaking it at culture. Oh, you're ruining it all. That's not the case. It's more about how do we as people of God, how do we as people who have called ourselves Christians, how do we keep that focus for ourselves? And for me, one of the ways to keep focus is having things to help me pay attention, and that's the light, the Advent wreath. For us, we are having a Advent tree where there's different things for the community, gifts that we can get to help those in need, and those are ways that we can focus on it. So the springboard, I think, for all of this would be what are things in your sanctuary? What are things in your daily home? What are things on your person that will help you pay attention to that which is most important, and that is Jesus Christ and our call to love one another. And so there are different ways you can do that. Some people put a stone in their pocket to help them remember that Jesus is the rock. Some people, different lights, Advent wreath, Advent calendars, all kinds of things. So anyway, all of these for a springboard. And it really, I think, gets at the heart of what this text is about being faithful to the God, knowing that God is faithful to us. And God always is faithful to us first, and then everything we do is a response. All right, so with that, I hope something in this can be a springboard for your own thinking and your own children's sermon. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.